I hope your day is full of aliens and fairies and elves and, I don't know, ogres. You gotta have ogres and Bigfoot, and it's a fun intro. Guys, we have an amazing episode for you this week with the one, the only Josh Potter. But before we get into this week's episode, there's just a few things I want to tell you about. The first is the 420 show that's happening in Burbank, California on 420. It's going to be 2 shows. The lineups are incredible. It's best-selling Josh Potter, Ryan Sickler, Kim Congdon, Aaron Milner, and it's happening at the Nightcap. It's gonna be a really fun show. I can't urge you guys to come out enough. Plus there's gonna be food trucks, so come laugh, come get high, come eat with us on 420. There's gonna be 2 shows, and I think one of them's already almost sold out, so I recommend getting tickets to that sooner rather than later. Also, on May 27th, I'm co-headlining in Bellflower with Kimberly Congdon at 10 p.m. at the Stand Up Comedy Club. You can find out more information about show dates at Princess Shank on Instagram and Twitter. And if you're like me, you love socks. You realize that socks are important because you prioritize your comfort. Right now I'm wearing these socks, which are actually my favorite pair of Oh Yeah socks. My most favorite pair of Oh Yeah socks ever, which is saying something, because I love my Oh Yeah socks, but these ones say "Moo bitch, get out of the hay." It's amazing, and there's cows and hay. So you can see why Oh Yeah is one of my favorite sponsors, because they do things a little bit differently. Give the gift of socks. They're fun. They say, "Hey, I'm thinking of you. Hey, I'm sorry. Have a pair of socks. Hey, I love you. Have a pair of socks. Thanks for inviting me over for dinner. Have a pair of socks. I need something for your Easter basket. Have a pair of socks." Head to ohyeah.com, discount code Sara10. That's 3 O's HYEAH.com, discount code Sara10. Guys, also, I want to remind you, if you're not subscribed to my new podcast, This Bitch with Kimberly Congdon, you're missing out. It's a super fun show. And as always, I urge you guys, if you're enjoying this podcast, to leave a review for Shank. Tell your friends about the show. That's how we keep growing it. And before we get into this week's episode, there's just one more thing I want to tell you about, and that's this new sponsor. They're called Ripple. They're amazing. They make these plant-powered diffusers that you can hit, and they come in different flavors. Let me look at the list of flavors because it's unreal. Okay, here we go. Jasmine, lychee, mango, lemon, lavender, and peppermint. It's all plant-powered ingredients. It's vegan. It's lab-tested. It's been developed. It's family-owned and operated. Plus, they have a free recycling program. If you're someone who is trying to quit smoking, Ripple is for you, okay? Smoke plants, not nicotine. It's non-addictive. The taste is amazing. I mean, who doesn't want to smoke lychee, okay? The discount code is SHANK. You guys head to what is the website? The website is therippleco.com. Head over there, enter discount code SHANK. Treat yourself to a little bit of plant-powered diffusers. Put down the pack and pick up the Ripple, is what I'm saying. And they're really cute. I saw them online and I was like, I really like what they're doing. I'm going to hit them up, and I'm super excited to have them as a new sponsor. So as always, if you're looking for ways to support the show, buy a pair of socks, buy a Ripple, show some love to the people who are helping this podcast be the best that it can be. Show some love for the people who are supporting your favorite podcast, Shank. Okay, let's get into this week's episode of Shank with the one, the only Josh Potter. Here it is, guys. I'm a solo artist.
I'm a solo post.
Doing a solo pod hits different though.
You know what I miss
live with
is,
yourself.
you know what I got to get back to having?
What?
And Kirsten laughs and shit, but she doesn't keep the mic on because there's too much noise. But here's the thing. I'm mixing. I gotta just tell her this. I just had an epiphany. I'm mixing the audio. I'll fix it.
Hi, guys.
Sorry.
Welcome back to another episode of Shank. Today's guest is the one, the only Josh Potter.
Hey.
So happy to have you here. I just did your podcast that came out today, the Josh Potter Show.
Yeah, well, it would be yesterday in
if you're
podcast
listening.
land.
Yes, in podcast time, it's yesterday. We smoked a little.
Also, I say that kind of stuff all the time where I put it into the podcast sense. And I go, why am I doing this? Some people listen to this on Friday. Some people listen to this on Saturday, whenever they want.
I know. Because in your mind, you're trying to frame it for the listener.
Yeah.
I don't know
why. I'm trying to put it into context for them as if they're listening to it immediately, and they're not.
And they listen when they listen.
Yeah, so I might as well just give them what the time I'm in.
No, I get that. Wait, let me tell you.
Let me tell you.
I
love your new. You should make honey merch.
Honey.
I go around saying that all the time.
I can't stop saying it.
I say it now because I just hear you say it.
Honey. Okay, listen to this. This is what I wanted to bring up with you. Southwest passenger arrested for masturbating 4 times during flight.
4 times?
Yeah.
How did they know that he did it 4 times? Were they giving him the 3 strikes you're out rule?
I don't know. It's
Sir, if you masturbate 3 more times, you'll have to be kicked off or arrested.
But also, how horny is he?
I mean, and here's where I'm going to put myself into this poor man's shoes for a moment and try to be sympathetic.
Okay.
During moments of extreme anxiety, I have just tried to masturbate, and I have masturbated compulsively because of those anxiety moments. And I can't try. I'm trying to think of an example.
You're riddled with anxiety, and the only relief.
When you're having those crippling anxiety, or is it dread or whatever, where you're oh my God, I can't think about this right now. You go.
I just need to come.
Yes, you just come to get rid of it. And maybe that's why I can't do it with a woman, because that's joy, and I seem to only really make myself just come a lot when I'm having anxiety. But that's say he's afraid of flying, and he's I got to get through this. Mm-hmm. So he goes to the bathroom and J's his D. And so, but here's where
you're going with that whole backstory.
Right.
You just wrote a backstory
I did.
that made me a little more empathetic to
because I'll tell you a little secret.
Offer.
I've never masturbated on a flight in my life. I don't have flight anxiety any longer, and my way to deal with it was always taking drugs and being in a coma during the whole flight. So there's no J and my D on a flight.
Oh, right.
If I sat next to a very beautiful woman and she wanted to blow me on a flight, I wouldn't even be able to get hard because I'd have so much barbiturates in my system. But
dude,
I feel this man had anxiety and he needed to beat off, and so. But here's where the thing that gets me, where I wish I had detail in the story. Maybe you have more of it, the article there.
Okay. Let's see.
How do they know the number of times to the precision to say 4? If the article said more than once, you go, I can gather how they would find that information. But to really pinpoint it down to 4.
It says at least 4. It says a man on a Southwest Airlines flight faces federal charges after allegedly masturbating at least 4 times during the flight. If they're saying at least 4, it could have been 12.
But to give that number, it's so specific. It could have been 12. Yeah, it could have been a few. Is it because that's how many times he went to the bathroom? He went at least 4 times to the bathroom. So they're saying maybe he was doing double duty in the bathroom, or he was J'ing it.
I don't know.
Twice, so it could be up to 8, perhaps, if there were 4 bathroom trips. Because he wasn't doing it, they would say immediately at the top of the article, if he was just doing it willy-nilly, in basic economy.
It says there's a criminal complaint. There's a link to it. Oh, shit. I got the criminal complaint right here.
Oh, you don't want to read the criminal complaint. The article should surmise.
It doesn't. It just links to the criminal complaint. Now I'm a researcher. Now here I am researching someone's Southwest lewd acts.
You're reading documents now?
Yeah. I'm an investigator.
Is there any of the black bars? This has been redacted.
Well, yeah. Well, it seems like there's someone who took pictures of him doing it.
It's like I'm trying again to just, be very Buddhist about this and wonder, okay, now how long was the flight? Was it a transatlantic flight? Was it across the country?
There are so many questions we need answered.
Was this from New York to Cleveland? I mean, like, that would really justify, like, also
was
the
it
amount.
To China?
Exactly. It could have been one of those Australian flights that are 4 times doesn't really sound like that much then in that case.
I knew you'd have thoughts on this. Okay, so...
Southwest, by the way. If you're going on Southwest...
First red flag.
You got to expect someone's going to be doing something weird on there,
It's true.
It's like
that's 100%.
Spirit and Frontier. Southwest is like the middle of airline travel. Like American and United, you have some standards. JetBlue, you have standards. Even though those can be like a deluge of just animalistic humanity that you never want to experience.
Yeah.
Southwest is just slightly beneath those, in my opinion, because you know why? They did away with like the seats. I don't like that they make it Hunger Games to sit down in those fucking...
What do you mean? I wasn't aware of this.
Well, they did away, like on most airlines, you can purchase your seat.
Oh,
where
yeah.
you want to sit, going in. I'm A11 or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Or 11A or whatever. And then on Southwest, though, they just do groups and it's bedlam. Like, I remember I took a Southwest flight with Tom one time, and that's the one where I just started, like, playing up my handicap. Also, because Tom thought it was hilarious. And he'd be like,
okay.
You know when they say, like, anybody who needs assistance boarding. So I would go, and he goes, now go in there and save me a seat,
Okay.
And then he would always have group 1, so he'd be, like, one of the first people on the plane anyway, and I would be like, why don't you save me a seat? I don't want to do that. So... I would go on, like, I'd be all like, I remember one time they had me put my hand on a man's shoulder and like walk into the terminal, and the guy's like, I remember one guy goes, hey, that was Tom Segura out there, you know? I go, I didn't see him.
I know.
But yeah, so Southwest is like, that's all, because they go like group 1 and then everyone just goes on, and then if you're a person who doesn't, like, obviously if you're late in that group, or you're like toward the end of the plane, or the end of the groups, I should say, you're going on and it's just middle seats. And then you have to be like, can I sit in your middle seat? You know what I mean?
A middle seat can really fuck up your life.
It's a city bus, the Southwest flights. And it's like, it shouldn't be for the price that they cost.
Listen to this shit. I don't know if I told you about this, but when I flew to Humboldt, I flew this airline. It's called Vuelo. It's like a Spirit.
But I didn't even know you could fly to Humboldt. So, yeah, you weren't... Was it one of the regional charters?
No, it wasn't a charter. It's
like a Colgan Air or something like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you said it was... But was it, like, powered by American or something like that?
I'll tell you, it's the worst airline I've ever fucking flown. It's called a Vuelo.
A Vuelo?
You probably have never even heard of it. Hold on.
Sounds like a circus cannon that they just put you in.
A Vuelo. I don't know. I'm probably saying it wrong. Look.
How long is the flight to a Vuelo?
You've never heard of them, right? The worst airlines I've ever flown. I've got a bone to pick with this airline. First of all, the flight to Humboldt, I don't know if you can fly directly to Humboldt or whatever the fuck.
Oh,
Eureka?
This is where they go? Yeah, this is totally a regional thing. So but this is that hub of theirs right there is basically Mexico, darling. That is...
Yeah, a Vuelo. Okay, so let me tell you about a Vuelo. They don't have any guidelines or rules. I fly to fucking Humboldt from Burbank.
How long of a flight is that?
It's like an hour. But while I'm fucking on the flight, the guy next to me is flying with his goddamn goldfish. So I tell you this, he had like 19 goldfish in a cooler with him, and he brought that as his fucking carry-on. And a Vuelo did not care.
Yeah, but like, federal regulations of TSA should carry.
That's what I thought.
Isn't that liquid? They must have done a thorough. I would feel safe or whatever. I'd be like,
no.
But that is.
No, it's fucking insane. I have a picture of it.
How else would he carry the goldfish?
It was in like a big styrofoam container, and he put the fish through TSA, and he was able to carry. It was see here.
You took a picture. Live fish. Do you know they were? Oh my lord!
He flew with his fish because he said he didn't want. He left them alone during Christmas break, and
they died.
Yeah, so he wanted to fly with them.
Goldfish die. I mean, I'm sure the altitude just killed probably 40% of the goldfish in there. You know how your ears pop in a plane? Like 5 goldfish died easily. I mean, if they just are in a weird different water, they die.
I know. He said he had fish.
What, did he work for a carnival or something? What was he doing?
He had those fucking fish. And he said he had sea snails. And and then, okay, the worst part about it is I see this guy. I'm like, oh, this guy is fucking weird, dude. Nobody in their right mind flies with a styrofoam container of fish, okay?
I mean, here's the thing. If I was in first class and I saw a guy with a styrofoam cooler of fish, he's like, yeah, I'm going fly fishing up in fucking whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go, that guy's just so rich he can do that. But yeah, the context is always different. That's what I'm saying. Like,
no, this guy was a weirdo. Okay, yeah. Then worst thing happens. I get sat next to fish guy.
Oh my lord. How much was this plane ticket?
I don't know. I didn't pay for it.
Oh, okay. Well,
but
did you have a buyout, or did they just go, here's your plane ticket?
They go, here's your plane ticket.
I would have said, take the plane ticket and give me the money. I'm buying my own plane ticket. You never take the plane ticket.
I took the plane ticket.
You gotta never. That's rule number 1. You can't take the plane ticket. That's your first mistake. You can never take the plane ticket.
Never take the plane ticket.
Take the buyout. Sometimes don't even take the hotel. Take the buyout.
Okay, that's a good call. Well, I flew a Velo, honey. This is before I got to the weird sex place.
You save your $43 on that Velo ticket, and you add it to my check. I'll buy my own flight.
I gotta talk to you. If you want to book me, you can go through Potter.
No, you just learn these. You start reading contracts, and you go like, "Oh, that's my. I could either do your dumb plane ticket that you're gonna really fuck me over,
Velo?
or I can get another $120. I'll take I'll book my own fucking flight."
Dude, a Velo on the way home, they canceled their flight.
I have never heard of this.
I know.
I've been in airports like almost every week for like my whole life except for COVID, and I haven't even seen a sign or like a terminal.
I know. I'm telling you.
But they landed at Burbank, so it's like, can they be bad?
No, they're awful. They're the worst airline I've ever They let them in with live fish onto the flight. That seems like a health concern.
Well, also like you wouldn't be able just by the pure. Well, I
can't bring shampoo.
The security is the same though. A Velo doesn't have their own security.
I don't know.
I just think a man who carries goldfish on an airplane flies a Velo. That's the problem.
Yes. Like, you get what you pay for.
You can take it through TSA with certain maybe paperwork, or they do an examination of it and you go, there's fish in here. And they look through it and they make sure it's not bombs and stuff. I don't really know. But he has to go through the same TSA you and I go through.
Well, I think the TSA
flying normal airplanes.
Don't you think the TSA was probably like, this is a first bucket, go ahead?
I don't know. I bet they see wild shit TSA. You know?
Fish?
Think of all the sex toys that they have to go like, zzz, they have to go see. They're like, all right.
Dude, sex toys and fish? Just another day in TSA.
And that man beaten off 4 times on a flight. I want so many more. I want to be on his side is what I'm saying.
On the jerker's side?
I'm trying to sympathize with him that he was
horny and anxious.
I'm trying to be Buddhist about it. Now the man with the fish also I don't have any qualms with him bringing the fish on the plane. I more have qualms with the person who made you fly Avelo Airlines. I'm perplexed as to if this is a real thing or not.
No, it's a real fucking airline. They canceled my flight on the way back. They didn't even tell me until I got to the airport, and they never rescheduled me a return flight. And they said, that's how we do it at Avelo.
That's Avelo for you. We are no Avelo.
We do what we want here at Avelo. By the way.
Avail no.
Avelo has gotten more shout-outs on this podcast than they deserve. I'll tell you that.
Well, we're smearing them pretty nicely. You never
fuck
do
you,
that.
Avelo.
Don't you have miles and stuff? Don't you want to like maintain some status with an airline? You got to go with brand. You got to pick one.
No, I'm like
everyone's Delta in this comedy biz, and they make fun of me, but I'm a United man, and United's done Delta. Good by me, and they upgrade me, and they pop. Everyone likes Delta. I'm a United guy. There's less direct flights. I often have to get a connection with United, but such is.
All I know is I'm never flying a Velo again.
I don't know why you did in the first place.
I should have. A Velo makes Spirit look like.
If it's not American, Delta, United, I've never heard of this. Frontier recently, everyone's talking about on. I only know Spirit because I've gone to one too many open mics in my day, and they're like, you fly Spirit Airlines? And I always want to yell back, no. Even in my poorest of times would I not subject myself to sitting on Spirit Airlines.
It's bad.
No, you have to have some dignity flying. You just do.
I love that all of a sudden the Roach has some dignity around flying.
And flying I always have. I've said that from day one.
Okay.
When it comes to flying, there is no Avelos in my life ever. Not even in my poorest of times. I would rather go broke buying a plane ticket than subject myself to the Spirits and Frontiers of the world.
And Avelos.
Somebody was like, is it worth it? Like, they asked me, my buddy who was trying to go just watch a football game real quick, and he's like, the plane ticket's just so bananas cheap. And I go, yeah, man, but your flight could get fucked with, like, when you're at, like, a real airline, they have to get you on another one. Because, like...
There's a guarantee.
Yeah, there's things.
This is back alley.
This is, like, exactly. So if you get fucked, you get fucked. But, hey, also, it might just go just fine. And you put up with the fact that, like, your seat's 3 inches smaller than every other seat. And, like...
It's all ass backwards. People fly with fish.
Oh, people fly with fish. The
worst part is I sat next to Fish Guy, and for the first half of the flight, he's reading a book on guess what?
Fish.
Yep.
Well, at least he's an expert and not just some maniac flying around. Could you imagine him just being a hobbyist fishman, or just the person who you're like, so you like fish, huh? And he's like, not really. And you're like, what? Why do you have this then? He's just flying with them.
Fish Guy. Fish Guy also had Crocs.
How many people on Avelo Airlines
Everyone had Crocs on Avelo on the way to Humboldt from Burbank. It was 95% Crocs in the audience.
I've never worn a Croc. Is it it's comfortable? Everyone tells me they're like, it's comfortable, but it's like embarrassing. And you're like, why is it so embarrassing if it's comfortable?
It's so comfortable that the joke becomes on the people not wearing the Crocs. And they're water resistant.
So what's the Crocs issue? It does look like a hospital shoe to me. That's why I've never even had like the interest of buying them. I'm like, I'm gonna walk around with these bubbly hospital shoes. Look like I just walked out of a mental institution.
They do have a mental institution vibe to them.
They all look like you shouldn't be able to operate sharp things.
Yeah. No.
If you had scissors in your hands when you wear Crocs, it's like someone should really take those from you quite quickly. That's what I think of, at least.
Give you a helmet.
Yeah, you should walk around in a gown all day. And not a fucking, dress. Like, I'm talking like a hospital gown.
No, I know what you mean. You're talking, you're not talking like a Dolce & Gabbana gown. You're talking like a Looney Tunes hospital white padded wall
I'm talking
gown.
About shit you tie with a string in the back.
Okay, so have you heard of this new trend called urine therapy?
Don't like it. Don't know what it is. Don't like it. Urine is the word I don't like. I'm down with therapy.
Okay, so
Urine is the word I have a problem with.
okay, I'm not gonna say who, but I will tell you this. I saw this
You
comedian.
gotta say who.
I'll
Unless you're
tell
gonna
you.
me
I'll tell you
Okay,
later.
Yeah. You can tell. I thought you just were like.
No, this comedian looked amazing. Best I've ever seen her look. Had a glow about her.
Was there other things going on in her life that she's doing as well as it's not purely the urine therapy?
Well, first of all, I go, what do you mean urine therapy? She's like, I'm drinking it and I'm putting it on my face. And I'm like, I just gave you a hug, first of all.
Can't abide.
Okay, there's people out there drinking their urine and it's turning back the hands of time. Or she's just fucking with me.
Here's the thing.
She says her urine tastes like coconut water because she's a vegan.
She's doing that, but like, again, has she changed absolutely nothing else in her lifestyle?
I think she might have gotten a plastic surgeon.
Like, is she still just doing... Like, is she eating better? Is she exercising?
She eats better, but she says eats raw, vegan. So when
she's doing exercise of some sort. Probably.
She's doing all the things, but also I'm telling you specifically,
no, that's my point.
Her skin, no makeup, was fucking glowing to the point where both Kim and I were like, "Wow."
All right, well,
this bitch is looking good.
Hey, there's only one way to figure it out.
Well, I don't.
Have you been urinated upon?
Urinated, pissed on? A golden shower?
Yeah.
No.
I'm
not
like
into that.
I am so not into it to the point of like, yeah, I don't even like fathom that. But I'm learning it's more common
than you think.
Than I've been led to believe, or that I would have thought, I should say.
If someone was like, I really need to pee on you, and I was in love with them, and we were dating for
that wouldn't freak you out. You would be like, sure, and be like,
at a certain point.
Piss.
Wait, do they have to pee in my mouth?
No, but on like your face and shit.
No, I don't. Well, I don't know. After seeing this bitch, her skin looked perfect, Josh.
But I mean, like I get
the best looking skin I've ever seen.
I'm telling you, even just the act of like the peeing would make me feel disgusted.
I don't want to involve waste with my sex.
Yeah, me neither.
Those are two different things to me.
Waste.
You know what I mean? Human waste is one thing. Sex is another.
Yeah, I like to keep them in different categories as well. Yeah.
But some people, they got their wires crossed, Josh.
Yeah,
they got their wires a little crossed, and they like mixing it all up.
Yeah, they really do mix it all up. And then this lady, but so, I mean, hey, here's the thing. So that's my point. Like, if you're saying, well, you know, hey, someday maybe I'm married and a guy wants to piss.
Yeah,
my husband
if
wants
it's
to
my
piss
husband wants to piss on me, that's
then
different.
You're just like, blah, blah, blah. Like I say, give it a try on the skin if you're not adverse to it as much as I
am. Okay, yeah, okay. But I also I feel like it would have to be my own piss, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, of course, but I'm saying if you're willing to just let another person piss on your face,
my fictional husband.
Well, yeah, no, but there is some context in which you would allow another person to do it. Yeah, there is, and it could be as far off as you can. Putting your own urine on your face sounds way less crazy than that to me.
You're right.
Yeah,
so but also drinking it. It's the drinking of the urine that I can't get behind.
I don't understand the correlation of your skin to drinking your urine.
Apparently, okay, this is what this person told me. She said it's great for your gut because. Okay, and I
feel like we would have been doing this already. We would have been already doing this.
No, there's a whole movement.
People have been drinking their piss for a long time.
I know. There's also like this whole weird alt movement of piss drinkers.
Oh my God. For health?
For health and wellness, Josh.
We would have figured, we have been human beings for so long in terms of a society that we would have figured that out by now.
It's crazy, but apparently, I mean, I did a Google search. It says it's bad for your kidneys, which checks out to me.
Well, yeah, of course.
You put your waste back in your body.
That's what kidneys are like filtering out. So it's like, they're like, what? There's no water here. This is just all piss. Like, just keep it going. And then you're bogging down their shit. Yeah. Don't drink your own piss.
I know, but like, doesn't
water's
that
not good enough? I mean,
not anymore. It's 2022, honey. Water's not good enough. I'm like,
all this
we've
for
been
your
through
skin?
I'm telling you.
Give me a zip.
I'm telling you.
I don't care. Give me
a wrinkle.
I'll have rosacea before I drink my own piss. I don't give a shit.
Rosacea.
I don't even know if that's a...
That was a good pull.
Yeah, but I think you're like born with that.
You can't just develop rosacea.
That doesn't have... I don't know. I actually have no idea. Sorry for all the
rosaceans
out there.
Rosaceans.
I'm sorry for the plight that you suffer. And I don't mean to
minimize it.
Not trying to be reductive to your struggle with my jokes.
Rosacea lives matter.
Don't slap me.
Through the internet.
Yeah.
Don't slap
Or when you see me, I see like a rosy-cheeked man come up to me and he's trying to hit me. I'll know.
You getting Will Smithed
by some rosy-cheeked man.
Yeah.
What are you Googling there?
I'm just saying, like,
you
is there
up your
anything
topics?
else?
I like you came at, I was like, what is this, my podcast? You came at me with a news story out of the gate.
With a news story.
Yeah, look at you.
To keep it moving.
I like that.
Yeah. What was the best birthday party you have ever had?
Oh, my Lord.
Or the
That's
worst?
That's interesting. What was my favorite? There's like ones that stick out in my mind, but I can't think of what my favorite would be right now.
What are some of the ones that stuck out in your mind?
Like my 13th birthday, my mother got us, and this is so simple, but back then, you know, when you're a kid, you think like, this is amazing. And my mom really smart for this one, I think. She rented a limousine and just went around and picked up me and my friends, and we just rode around the limousine, and then we went to go see Jumanji.
I would love to take a limo to see Jumanji now.
Yeah.
That sounds so
but when you
fun.
like look up how much that kind of thing costs, like to rent a limo for, I don't know, 4 hours or something like that.
It's possible. We could do it.
We could just do that as a Friday night. You know what I mean? Most people
That's
can.
so
Like,
fun.
I feel like literally if people thought outside the box with what they do with their leisure, like think about like you go to a bar and you're going to spend, you know, maybe $100 probably. Like if you go to a big, like a real bar, you know, I mean, people in the other parts of the country are like, what are you talking about? But yeah, I mean, if you go on like a date or something, you think you could get a fucking car like that for like $300. You bring your own beer, you go around cruising with your friends. Maybe you go bowling or some shit. That'd be dope.
We're doing it wrong. We need to be taking limos more.
Limos are fun.
Limos. You show up in a limo. It's
The,
a different energy.
The LOL Comedy Club in San Antonio, they have like a limo take you to the airport, and it's all like discoed out. It feels like you're in Vegas. It looks so it's like the oldest limo you've ever seen too. Which is like it just makes it. I mean the ride to the airport is like 12 minutes, so it's just fun though. You're just like, look at us.
I have an ex-boyfriend who owns a limousine company. My
I heard about
ex-college boyfriend. He has a limousine company, and he calls his limo the White Knight.
That's cool.
My mom texting me in the middle of a pond.
That's always anxiety. My mom texted me the other day, and I can tell she's getting old because
Nothing's worse.
I'll say things, and she will ask me the question that I just said right before, like in the text thread, like not even in conversation. It's like, read above. That's the answer.
Scroll up.
Yeah. Not even scroll up. It's the one right before it.
Okay, so
anyhow, yeah, so we went to do that, and then my 21st birthday was pretty cool. The radio station I worked for threw me a big party and had like a band play, and like I had open bar, but here's the thing.
That sounds dope.
It was awesome, and like you know, listeners came, and then there was like my friends kind of came, but like it was a lot. It was kind of overwhelming, and at one point there was like a girl that I was hitting on, and I was like getting her a drink on my bar tab. Which I racked up an insane bar tab that night. But
on your 21st?
Yeah, but I mean, they had to pay for it, the radio station, so I didn't give a shit. But I remember my parents came to the party, and I remember at one point I like put my hand on the small of the woman's back that I was
at your party with,
like hitting on at the party, like at the bar with, and I felt another hand and I looked like this, and it was my dad.
No,
Yeah.
no. You guys were both hitting on the same.
My mom was there. Like,
No!
they were still together. Yeah. I mean, I knew my dad was always like, since like I was like 13, I knew my dad was always like kind of getting around a little bit. But
that's crazy.
Yeah, but that was the first time I was like, oh, I'm an adult now.
What?
Same chicks.
That's fucked up. That's
Wild.
amazing. Yeah, no. I remember like some birthday parties. Okay, I had this roommate in college, and she was really sweet, but she like made my whole birthday, it was a scavenger hunt. So I was like, my 21st birthday became a scavenger hunt. Now I'm working.
Were you getting drunk and high along the way?
No, it was like getting new outfits along the way, which
Oh,
was
that's
pretty
cool.
dope.
That's
Like,
cool.
yeah, no.
I thought it was just like,
It
now
was-
you got to go find something under a tree. You know, it's just another clue.
It was cool. It was really thoughtful.
That's cool.
I just don't think I would, and maybe this is bad. Like the thought of planning a scavenger hunt for
Certain
someone
type
else
of person.
to enjoy.
That's a certain type of person.
That just wouldn't bring me joy unless it was maybe my own child.
Well, yeah,
just
my mom
can't
used to do that for
imagine.
like Easter. Instead of just finding our baskets, she would have us like go. It would be like clues, and then it would all lead to the basket.
Nothing makes me okay. I had an Easter,
But I'm not that type. I go, just here's the basket.
you
know what I mean?
got it. That's the
basket's
gift.
great. Yeah, like why do you want to look for it? All right, well, I'll put it over here. You know?
You want a riddle?
That's the thing. I like would put it like on top of I don't know. Yeah, you want a riddle? I'm not coming up. That's the thing. I'm not coming up with the riddles. How much is this writing gig?
It's like, yeah, the amount of energy that people spend is nuts. I remember I helped one lady that I worked for plan her children's bar mitzvah.
Yuck.
Twin boys bar mitzvah. It was a nightmare. She's like, see if we can get ice cream that changes to like nitrogen. I'm like, I'm not getting paid enough for this fucking
Party
job.
planning for some people is so fun where they're like my dream courier. You know what I mean? That's a certain that's like it's a certain person. For me, it's my nightmare. Planning things like that. Oh my god, do it without me. Let me just show up to the thing.
I like the
My
idea.
cousin's good at that. Like he's fun cuz he'll be like we're doing this. We're going to Daytona for like a week, and then he'll gather all the shit. He'll get everything together, and he often like does. It's like a thankless job because everyone comes.
It is a thankless job.
And I always make sure to tell him like, "Thank you. You want some money for the supplies or whatever." You know what I mean? But like, he loves doing it. He loves doing that.
Well, yeah, and it's also like it takes a leader to plan something.
I feel like I'm a leader in ways,
In other ways.
but not that way. Yeah, exactly. I'm the guy at those types of parties where the leader goes like, "Can you just hang out with me?"
Totally. Okay, so I had this Easter bunny birthday because my birthday is right around Easter. It's on April 19th. That's 420 Eve, honey.
Oh, we're having a good time. 420.
Yeah, we're doing a show, 420. But so the worst party I ever had was this Easter bunny came to my parents' house. My cousin unzipped the bitch's outfit and there was a naked lady in there.
She was naked?
She was butt naked because it was hot in the valley. And then I just remember like
Was she hot?
yeah, and she was like in there, she was
that's kinda
screaming.
hot.
She was just like screaming. She's like, no, but like stop. Like, and it ruined my birthday.
She couldn't even put on like a bathing suit bottom.
No, I think it was hot. It was like
Just a bathing suit bottom.
This bitch was tits out.
At least put like a
Ass
bathing suit,
out.
like underwear on. I mean, that's hilarious.
It
that she was
stuck
so
with
naked.
me.
And the fact that you just said no, it was hot. You can't put a bathing suit bottom on. Like, that would be such a difference.
She was just out.
Well, my mother. This is how morbid my mom is.
Okay.
Like my mom would do things like that where she would wear the suits, and so like I knew my mom was in the suit.
Oh, your mom would actually put the bunny suit on.
Like a suit. Like it wasn't a bunny. It was some like for the restaurant that my dad worked for a while or whatever.
Okay, that's
It was a
fine.
bumblebee, and so
No, she'd wear a bumblebee suit?
yeah, and so like I would be a kid, but I would know my mom's in the bumblebee, whatever. I was like kind of old enough where I kind of knew that people were in those things.
Right.
And my mom one day, like, she was like, she hung it up, and I like opened the door to like the office where she hung up the thing. And she goes, no, don't open the door with the lights on. If the children see it, they'll think the bumblebee's skin is on the wall.
No.
And I go, you think is that the conclusion you're jumping to? Like, that's what I was like,
so weird and funny.
I was like 12. I was like, that makes sense. She goes, we don't want them thinking the skin of the bumblebee. They think we took the skin off the bumblebee and the skin is hanging.
It's weird.
It'll scare them. I'm like, I don't know that the kids are thinking that. Like, I was like, and it's just fright. It makes my heart pound. My mom's just so morbid like that. She'll say things where you're just like, all right, peg.
Peg?
Yeah, sounds
we love
good.
a peg. Steely Dan. Peg.
When I was little too, she told us a story about how she was like, it was about like a friend of a friend, like, you know, the adult friends that you'd see. Mm-hmm. She's like, you won't be seeing them anymore. And we were like at dinner, and we were like, oh, okay. And she could have just left it at that because they were ancillary to our lives. But she was like, yeah, they were driving down the road, and we're eating dinner. And she's like, they were driving down the road, and a deer jumped into the window of their car, and everyone was like knocked out, even the deer. And then the deer came to, and he flailed his hooves and crushed their faces.
No.
And we're all like, okay, Mom.
You're like, pass the salt.
Yeah. Could have left it at, we won't be seeing them anymore.
That's so good. Oh, man. It's like when I got in my Lyft the other day, I told you that I get in there, I asked the Lyft driver how he was, and he goes, not good.
That was your first mistake.
I know, because I want to be nice is the problem.
You can be nice, but you don't have to be nice by offering open, loaded questions. You could be nice without giving them an in to ruin you.
I gave him an in, and he fucking took it. He goes, not good. Started the day by seeing a dead human body.
Well, to his defense, you asked, and he might have to talk about it in that moment because he just saw something that changed him.
Right, but I'm like, oh, fuck. I asked the wrong person on the wrong day. And it was like, oh, now I'm playing an important part in his healing, it feels like. Yeah. Not me making it about me, the dead body.
No, that's true, you were.
I'm like, I have to hold space for this, and that was not part of the plan.
You were. Oh, you don't like when people take your energy that way. I don't like when they take it with small talk, like I was saying to you earlier. My Uber driver here just did all the tropes of an awful person just bothering you. But he was so polite about it, because then he'd go, I'm sorry, thanks for listening to me. That's what he said to me when he dropped me off.
So he had self-awareness.
Well, you would like to hope, but if he had self-awareness, we wouldn't have gone through that 50-minute car ride dealing with this type of conversation. The radio was perfect enough. He could have just looked back and been like, yeah, Joe Biden is a retard, right? Or something like that. Like,
you would have
because he was saying things like that, but then he was like turning it down and being like, so Joe Biden. And I'm like, I don't care, man. I don't care.
No.
And he was saying wild shit. I'm like, what makes you think you can just pop off to me? Of course I'm no prude. Everyone knows me who's watching or whatever knows that I don't care if people say fuck or pussy or, you know, any endless slurs, whatever. Say them all to me. I don't care.
Dick,
I'm not going to get offended or anything. But this guy doesn't know me from
Jizz.
He doesn't know me from Adam.
Yeah.
And he's just spouting off like random words and shit, you know, like fucking Trump and Biden and I'm like, how do you just like not know I'm gonna be like, fucking shut up about Biden, bro? Like, what if I pulled a gun out on this guy?
Dude, people are tripping. Post-COVID, I feel like everyone's mentally ill and loving it.
If you are an Uber driver, that you are doing a service, this is a business transaction. You should act professionally, I feel like. So you're just being like, fucking da 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 da.
It's like, yeah, but everyone's lost it.
I think I'm going to go Uber Black from now on and just get bougier. I have been, I'll say this.
I like that energy for you. Roach and Uber Black.
Yeah. I've been making enough money where I've been hitting priority on Uber Eats.
Oh, there's nothing better. Because sometimes you're like, wait a minute, I didn't sign up for you to take my dinner to 6 different places, you motherfucker.
My dinner's traveling now. I don't want to fucking move around. Who knows what's happening to it in your car?
That was never part of the deal. They started adding that on later.
It's very nebulous, too. It's like sometimes it's just like, you're along the way.
It's fucked up, and then it's not cold by the time it gets there.
Oh, it's cold. It's like it's in a puddle of itself. You're like, oh god.
I'm like, Lord.
I'm glad I paid $50 for this sandwich just to have it be in a puddle of itself. But yeah, no, I'm doing priority now. It's an extra $1.99. No big.
Yeah, no, it's a big difference because you can see there's nothing worse than seeing your food travel around town.
Oh, it's going further. You're like, I would have just walked to the restaurant by this point.
Yeah, you're like, I could have gone and picked it up and been back.
Yeah. If I don't have a car, but if I was a person who had a car, I'd be like, I could have just drove and paid myself to get this.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
I wonder if people do that. They order Uber Eats and then they just deliver it to themselves because then Uber has to give them a little money.
I don't know. That would be genius.
I wonder how that works.
Beat the system.
Yeah.
I bought myself dinner. I'm working.
Yeah, I buy the dinner from myself. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, well, that's our pod. It was so much. It was such a fun episode. I'm so glad that you came.
I'm happy that you came on mine as well. Go watch it.
And guys, 420, we're doing a show at the Nightcap in Los Angeles. It's going to be great. Come out. Support live comedy. It's me, Potter, Sickler, Kim Congdon, Beth Stelling, Aaron Milner. And at the Nightcap. Come out. Also, follow me at, I don't know why I'm laughing, at Princess Shank on all the platforms for show dates. You know where to find me. And make sure to subscribe to my podcast, This Bitch, as well. What about you?
I know why you're laughing.
I know.
I am on the internet. The Josh Potter Show every Tuesday on YouTube and all the places you listen to the podcasts that you like. And you can find me there. Subscribe. Thank you. That's it.
And I'll see you next week.
Come to the Burbank Show.
Come to the Burbank Show, 420 Nightcap. It's going to be the best time. There's going to be food trucks, weed, all the things. It's the best 420 show in LA. Bye.